reason, we did not feel comfortable speaking in detail publicly until now. It is important that we share this information now so that our community can be put at ease. So at this time, I'll turn the microphone over to Hoover Police Chief Nick Durses. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank everyone for being here today. Besides me stands the team who played a significant role in this investigation. I want to thank our department, members of surrounding local law enforcement agencies, the FBI, Secret Service, United States Marshals, and ALEA for their assistance in this case. We said from the evening of July 13th, our focus would be the safe return of Carlee Russell. That occurred on Saturday, July 15th, approximately 49 hours after she called 911 and disappeared. From that point, our focus has been to determine Carlee's whereabouts during that time and what exactly took place. Let me say up front, this investigation is not over. We're still working this case, and we'll work in this case until we uncover every piece of evidence that helps us account for the 49 hours that Carlee Russell was missing. However, through the public interest, and in some cases, public fear that this story has generated, we owe it to our citizens to tell them the facts that we have uncovered. So I will give you the facts that we know today. On July 13th, at approximately 8:20 p.m., Carlee left work from a business at the Summit. Surveillance video from her place of employment shows Carlee concealed a dark-colored bathrobe, a roll of toilet paper, and other items belonging to the business prior to her departure. She ordered food from Tzatziki's at the Colonnade and traveled there. She then traveled to Target on 280, where she purchased some granola bars and Cheez-Its. From there, she remained in the parking lot at that shopping center until 9:21 p.m. when she drove to I-459. Carlee communicated on her cell phone with individuals known to her while on her path of travel up to the point of calling 911 at 9:34 p.m. And at this time, we will play the 911 call in its entirety.
We are watching the Carlee Russell press conference. I'm sorry I had to abruptly put it on. So, welcome everybody. Hit the like on your way in, please.
Hi, I am on Interstate 459, and there is a kid just walking by themselves. Oh, hold on. Where on 459 are you? I'm right next to the exit 10 by the Hoover Med, like to get off by the Hoover Med. Okay, so you're before the exit? Yes. Okay, and were you headed southbound or northbound? Like towards Tuscaloosa or towards 280? Towards Tuscaloosa. Okay. And was the child on the left or right side? On the right side. Were they walking northbound or southbound? They're walking towards Tuscaloosa. Walking southbound? Oh, how old do they look? Like a toddler, like maybe like 3 or 4. Did you pull over with them? Are you still with them? Yes. Okay, are you with the child right now? No, I'm not. I didn't get out of the car. I can see them though. Do you mind staying and keeping an eye on them until we get there? Yeah, sure, yeah. Okay, what kind of car are you in? I'm in a red Mercedes-Benz. Is it a sedan or SUV? SUV. I mean, it's a sedan. Sorry. Can you put your hazards on for me? Yeah, they're on. Okay. Did you talk to the child at all, or did you say anything to them? No. Okay. No. Do they look like they're injured? No, they don't. Are they white, black, Hispanic, or Asian? They're white. Okay. Is it male or female? I think it's a boy, a little boy. White male? Okay. So is he wearing clothes? Yes. Okay. What is he wearing? It's a white t-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper. And you don't see any cars anywhere? No, no cars anywhere. Okay. All right. What's your name? My name is Carlee Russell. And you don't see any injuries on the child from where you're at, correct? No, but I can't really see them that good. Okay, try to keep an eye on them so the best you can, because I don't want you to lose track of them. Okay. All right, and Do they have shoes on? No. Not that I can see. I can't really see that look. Okay. All right. I've got them on the way, okay? Just try to stay, keep an eye on them, but the officers are on the way, okay? Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Carlee called a relative after speaking with the 911 operator. She went missing during that conversation sometime after 9:36 p.m. Traffic camera footage was obtained which depicted this portion of the incident, and that footage was analyzed as part of the investigation in conjunction with the 911 call and cell phone data to accurately determine the time frame. Carlee's 911 call remains the only report of a child on the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through the area at that time. No one has called to report that a child is missing, and the Hoover Police Department did not locate any evidence of a small child walking down the interstate. Data from Carlee's phone, including her Life 360 app, shows that she traveled approximately 600 yards in her vehicle while she was on the phone with 911, stating that she was following a child. 600 yards. That is 6 football fields straight, 600 yards. The Hoover 911 Center received a second call from Carlee's mother stating that a relative was on the phone with her when they heard Carlee scream, and then they had an open phone line. Hoover police officers arrived on the scene within 5 minutes of being dispatched, and several other officers arrived shortly. They located Carlee's wig and cell phone in the grass near the vehicle. Her purse was located in the front seat of her vehicle with her Apple Watch in the purse. The food she ordered for Tzatziki's was also in the car. The items she purchased from Target, as well as the items taken from her place of employment, were not in the vehicle, nor were they located anywhere around the scene. Hoover police deployed all available assets from the point in the search for Carlee. Additional resources were called in to include our own drone unit, crime scene investigators. Numerous detectives responded to the scene. Throughout the day Friday, officers from surrounding local and federal agencies assisted Hoover police in the search for Carlee Russell. Officers returned to the scene on 459 to conduct a thorough line search for evidence. K-9 teams from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department responded to check for any sign of Carlee, the child that she claimed to see, and anything else that could be considered evidence in this case. Those searches all turned up empty. Private citizens, including search parties organized by our family, friends, began looking everywhere that they could to find any trace. These searches took place throughout the day Friday and again on Saturday, yielding nothing. At 10:44 p.m. on July 15th, the Hoover 911 Center receives a call from Carlee's residence stating that she returned home on foot. In subsequent investigations, detectives obtained surveillance footage of Carlee walking down the sidewalk alone prior to arrival at her residence. She was conscious and speaking with paramedics when she was transported to UAB. Detectives were able to obtain a brief statement from her prior to being treated and released. During the statement, she told detectives that while traveling down the interstate, she saw a baby walking down the side of the road and called 911. She stated when she got out of her vehicle to check on the child, a man came out of the trees and mumbled that he was checking on the baby. She claimed that the man then picked her up and she screamed. She stated he then made her go over a fence. She claims he then forced her into a car, and the next thing she remembers is being in the trailer of an 18-wheeler. She stated that the male was with a female. However, she never saw the female, only hearing her voice. She also told detectives she could hear a baby crying. She told detectives the male had orange hair with a big bald spot on the back. She said she was able to escape the 18-wheeler and fled on foot, only to be captured again and then was put in a car. She claimed she was then blindfolded, but was not tied up because the captor said they did not want to leave impressions on her wrists. She said that they took her into a house and made her get undressed. She believes they took pictures of her, but she does not remember them having any physical or sexual contact. She stated the next day she woke up and was fed cheese crackers by the female. She said the woman also played with her hair, but could not remember anything else. At some point, she was put back in a vehicle she claims was able to escape while it was in the West Hoover area. She told detectives she ran through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. During this interview, detectives noted that Carlee had a small injury to her lip and she claimed that her head was hurting. She also had a tear in her shirt. Detectives also noted that she had $107 cash in her right sock. Out of respect for Carlee and her family, detectives did not press for additional information in this interview and made plans to speak with her in detail after giving her time to rest. Detectives continue analyzing data from Carlee's cell phone that was left behind at the scene. We enlisted the help of the United States Secret Service in conducting this analysis. Part of what data included several internet searches in the days leading up to their disappearance that I think are very relevant to this case. On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term, "Do you have to pay for an Amber Alert?" was searched. On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term, "How to take money from a register without being caught," was searched. On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term Birmingham bus station was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th. On July 13th at 12:10 p.m., a search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction, was conducted. There were 2 searches related to Amber Alerts on a computer at Carlee's place of employment, including one regarding the maximum age of an Amber Alert. There were other searches on Carlee's phone that appeared to shed some light on her mindset, but out of respect for her privacy, we will not be releasing the content of those searches at this time. We've asked to interview Carlee a second time, but have not been granted that request. As you can see, there are many questions left to be answered, but only Carlee can provide those answers. What we can say is that we've been unable to verify most of Carlee's initial statement made to investigators, and we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public safety related to this particular case. Thank you very much.
With that, we'll open the floor for some questions. Please raise your hand and I will call on you. Carol.
Chief, do you expect any charges against Carlee Russell in connection with the disappearance and in connection with what was taken from the Woodhouse spa?
Right now, our focus is to determine those 49 hours, so the investigation continues. So to be perfectly honest with you, that hasn't even entered our mind or been discussed.
One more question. Is it surprising to you that the family has not been cooperative in returning to be questioned?
Well, I think the family has stated to us that they didn't think that in her mental state right now, because of trauma of the incident, that she's not ready to talk, is what we've been told.
Go ahead, sir. Yeah, question for Chief. You stated that the abductor had orange hair. Was this abductor black male? Was it female, black female, white female?
I believe it's a white male. Am I correct by saying that? Was it ever? Yeah, white male.
Is this alleged abductor yet on loose in the Hoover area?
Don't believe so.
Yes, ma'am.
Chief Brittany Jones of UVRC, has a toxicology report been done, and were any drugs or illegal substances found in her system?
We have no report of that.
Is any indication of mental illness in this case?
Not that I'm aware of.
Lisa.
There's been a concern in the community that if this turned out not to be a true story, that the next time a young woman of color was missing, that it might not be taken seriously. How would you respond to that?
I'd respond to say that we investigate every crime to the fullest, just like we have this one.
Was she traveling with anyone since, excuse me, was she traveling with anyone since the time she disappeared, to your knowledge?
And not to my knowledge.
Chief, I know you said you weren't able to verify a lot of aspects of the story. Where do you think she went, and how would you characterize what happened here?
You know, that's the $100 question. You know, we pretty much know exactly what took place from the time she left work until she got on the 911 call, and we can see getting out of the car on the interstate from that footage. And after that, I think she only knows. We don't know.
One quick follow-up, her parents. Did you speak with Carlee's parents, and why do you think it is they were so adamant that there was an abductor here?
Yeah, I think parents are believing what their daughter's saying, and we've had a very good rapport with the parents, met with them on several occasions. I've talked to them today a few times, and to make them understand that we're under pressure from our community not only in our community of the state, but nationally when the story hit. And I just wanted them to understand that today we were going to have a press conference, and what we were going to detail today are facts. And everything that I've told you today is actual facts. It's not innuendos. It's not what I think. It's not what these detectives think. It is the factual information that we have.
Chief, I'll share also WPRC. How much time do you think you'll give the family before going back to Carlee for sentencing?
Well, I think our detectives have talked to the parents, and we're ready. We're ready to talk as soon as she's ready. So, she called right now. We're ready.
You had one word to describe what went on. What would that be?
Lou, how about unknown? We know the facts that we have. Everything else is unknown at this time.
What have the past few days been like for you, your department? This has been a stressful search, hasn't it?
Well, absolutely. And again, the focus of the investigation that Thursday when she went missing, of course, the focus was to get Carlee home. That's what we want. We wanted her safe and sound, and that's all happened. And then, of course, this has gotten to be not only a local state story, but a national story. So, it is. It's a lot of stress on everyone in the Hoover Police Department and the mayor, to every citizen here. We want to know the truth.
As you stand here, are you frustrated?
I wouldn't say I'm frustrated. I mean, I'm very happy that Carlee's home. That was the main ingredient here, and then we'll figure it out. I promise you that we'll end up figuring it out.
Any idea about the number of manpower hours or the expense of the drones and all the rest of the search that might have cost the city and the state and federal government?
Yeah, we haven't had time to consider that, but it's again, these detectives that are here. This is just a small group of people that have been associated with this case. We have put every available resource that we have on this case because we wanted to make sure that we found out everything. We wanted to get her home, and we have.
Chief, was there any prior indication of mental health problems?
Not that I'm aware of.
Can you just expand on the people from the state, federal resources brought in? What were they doing exactly as you all were searching for her? Can you just expand on that?
Sure. A lot of the from the FBI side, several agents helping us interview. I mean, as you well know, in a case like this, especially when it goes national, we got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of calls. And when you get those calls, some of them may just be outlandish, but you've got to follow up on them because you never know that you may get that one tidbit. And I'd also say too that we had a great cooperation with the family. The family received hundreds and hundreds of tips, and every time they got a tip, they sent it to us.
Would you say a crime has been committed?
No,
In this case?
we have not determined that. No.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610 Summit Media. Question for Chief. With all of the searches that you mentioned, Chief, that were on Carlee's phone, does that kind of give you an indication of her mind state during this ordeal, the 48 hours
Yeah.
that she went missing?
Well, again, we want to talk in facts, and I do think it's highly unusual to the day that someone gets kidnapped, that 7 hours, 8 hours before that they're searching the internet, Googling the movie Taken about an abduction. I find that very, very strange. Yes.
Yes. Do you feel confident, do your investigators feel confident that you know why Carlee Russell may have done this?
No, we do not know. Absolutely not.
Chief, can you explain for us, you mentioned it, while I believe you said that Carlee was on the phone with 911, she was traveling 6 football fields, which tells you what?
Which tells me that I've had kids, and I'm sure a lot of people here have, and it's very, very, again, she said it, and I'm not saying it couldn't happen because I've always been one of these guys, never say never, but 6 football fields. I like athletics, I like football. 6 football fields. To think that a toddler, barefoot, that could be 3 or 4 years old, is going to travel 6 football fields without getting in the roadway, without crying, without any just moving down. It's just very hard for me to understand.
Chief, have you used any technology to enhance that video from 459? And did you see a man grab her?
We did not see, from what we can tell, we don't see anybody on the interstate other than her car and then someone getting out of her driver's side. We have sent that off to the FBI for enhancement. It has not been returned.
Do you think in this case that charges will be forthcoming towards Carlee Russell? And how serious of a crime is it to not only fabricate a 911 call, but to lie to law enforcement during an investigation?
Well, again, that's not something that we've been discussing. We're going through the still investigation. But people have to understand that when someone says something like this, we put every available resource. Everybody comes together from, like I say, state, local, federal. It's just a lot of work, and gentleman early said frustrated. I mean, it is a little frustrating to think that all this has been done and we can't find anything out.
Did anyone see her calling in from the side of the road when she made that 911 call?
No, not to my knowledge.
All right, so is this investigation held up until you can speak once again to Carlee Russell?
Well, there's a few things that we're still doing, but obviously we want to talk to Carlee as soon as we can and do an in-depth interview. And at that time, I think we'll have these investigators doing some other things. So
That's all the questions we're going to answer today. We appreciate you guys coming, and we'll be following up with y'all later. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time, Chief.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. All right. There we have it. I didn't get to introduce myself in the beginning. My name is Pam Esquire, also known as your law intellect. I had a few people ask me if I would stream this press conference. For those of you that have not heard, which I'm sure that you have, last week or earlier this week, over the weekend, there was a young lady named Carlee Russell where it was all over the internet that she was missing. Well, when I first saw it, I never posted it originally because I immediately had a little skepticism. Don't know why, but I had that same Jussie Smollett skepticism in my spirit. So I never even I never even I never even really talked about it. So then I go to sleep and then I wake up and she was here. And they were like, she was located, she came to the house and all of that. And then I did see all of the different theories and conspiracy theories and all of that. And that's not really what grasped me. What grasped me was, as a person that works in the legal field, I know the police would not have acted in this manner if they believed that there was a person that was out there abducting people. So I wasn't really questioning what she did, why she did it, none of that. I just knew it was more to it because of the police's response. I'm like, so basically everybody was solicited out here to help find this young woman. And then you guys get answers and you're like, we'll let you guys know later. Thank you guys so much for your help. But we don't have a description, won't have a be out on the lookout. None of that. None of it made sense from that perspective for me. And that is why I didn't really believe it. But I'm gonna look in here, so I'm not shocked. I'm gonna put the link in here if anybody would like to come on so that we can further discuss this. But for those that just came on, I pretty much caught the beginning, I believe. Oh my gosh. You guys, make sure you hit the like, subscribe if you haven't done so already. So essentially what the officer started out with, some of the information we knew, but he mentioned Carlee leaving work that day at that spa, and up under her shirt, I guess she had toilet paper and some other stuff, like she had stolen some things from her work. Then she went to Target, and when she went to Target, she got some snacks, picked some snacks up. Then she goes on the interstate and she calls 911 and she reports that a toddler was walking on the side of the road. In that 911 conversation, which we all heard, she said she didn't get out of the car. The 911 dispatcher said, well, will you at least stay with them until someone arrives? She said, oh, yes, I'll stay with them. That's not a problem. So they said, well, what are you driving? A red Mercedes-Benz sedan. So then she says, well, could you put your hazard lights on? And she said, I did. And so she describes this toddler wearing a white t-shirt and a diaper. She didn't think they had pants on, no injuries. Then I guess she called a relative The relative described talking to her where she told the relative about this toddler, and then all of a sudden she screams. The line remains open, and that's that. So after the scream, of course, she leaves. They come, the police arrive, the car is still there with the hazards on. They find the wig, cell phone, the watch, and all of that was still in the car. I think the wig and stuff was outside of the car. But they noticed that the Target snacks were gone, the alleged stuff taken from the job were gone. But the other stuff, the valuable stuff, was actually there. So then they said, okay, well, let's look in her phone records and see her searches. See, them cell phones will get you every time. So on July 15th, before July 15th, which is when she showed up at her parents' house, they looked through the phone and they have all these keywords that she looked in on. How do you have to pay for an Amber Alert? I think was one of them at 3 a.m. on July 11th. How to take money from the cash register without getting caught. Then she looked up the Birmingham bus. Then on July 12th, she searched for a one-way ticket for a bus. Then she searched about the movie Taken. Then they also looked at her computer at her work to ask what the maximum age was for an Amber Alert. And when the police came, she was conscious when she showed up at the house. And when she showed up at the house, they took a statement, and she essentially was saying in the statement she had this fantastical story about someone coming out the trees, snatching her up. She was in some 18-wheeler. It was a woman. The guy had orange hair with a bald spot. She heard a baby crying in the back. And then she escaped. They caught her again. They threw her in a car. Then she went to some. Listen, so essentially, what they were saying, the police were saying, you guys don't got to be on the lookout for nobody. They're saying they're still investigating, but it's obvious they don't believe the story. They ended it almost by saying there's nothing that corroborates this statement that she made about what happened to her. So I get it. I had people that were arguing with me, wait for the facts. I'm like, it's not even about that. I already know. I don't know specifically what she's going to come up with, her reasoning why. I don't know any of that. But what I do know is the way the police are moving is not how the police move, which means that it is more to this. And yeah, I'm not about to be posting about finding her. And I said that. And it sounded bold. It sounded mean. And I hope this doesn't affect, future situations. But if you guys are old enough to recall, how did we know about Al Sharpton? And I have a little short that I did on that. Al Sharpton with Tawana Bracey. This does happen, unfortunately, where some people do this. And we could try to figure out the whys. And, people were asking about her mental health and all of that. I don't know. I just know something wasn't right. So anyway, this truly is taking away resources. You know what, really be? You wasn't the only one, really be. Oh, she was adamant though, but she wasn't the only one. I think she understood where I was coming from, why I said that. I was like, I'm not trying to argue. They was making up stories about her being pregnant and having 17-year-old boyfriends. And I heard so many things, and I was saying, no, I'm not trying to get into that portion of it. I'm just saying, as from a legal perspective, this is really strange how the police are moving. That's all I was saying. Tawana Brawley. Okay, yeah. Let me see if I got that clip of her on my thing. If not, I do have a short of which I did something on her, so it's real quick. Let me see if I can find it. My videos from back in the day. Look at the video. Oh, here it go, right here. Let me see. Wait. Let me go back to the old school when I did this video. Let me share it. Share my own video. When I was talking about Jussie Smollett, I talked about this. possibly gotten this bright idea to create this hoax? Well, it could be from 15-year-old African American Miss Tawana Brawley. Some of you may remember Miss Brawley. Back in 1987, she was found in a trash bag, and when the police found her, she had racial slurs on her back, and she also had KKK written on her. She advised the police that she was brutally raped by a group of white men, and one was law enforcement, the other one was a prosecutor. So, of course, during that time, Al Sharpton became her spokesperson. All of this information went before the grand jury, and guess what? The grand jury came back and said this is all a hoax. So I know you're wondering what happened to Tawana Brawley. I want you to like, share, and subscribe, and I want you to stay tuned. All right. So all I'm saying is this is not the first time that something like this has happened. So Jeff said there are a lot of kidnapping that happen in Birmingham every day that we don't hear about. That was not BJPD, but HPD. Oh, you never heard of this story? Yeah, that's really what got. This was the story with Tawana, was the story that got Al Sharpton his name out there. If you look it up, just if you have any free time and you look it up, he was trying to be an activist. That's why when you see him, that's the real super chunky Al Sharpton. He was speaking for the family. He did all the press conferences. He did all of that. And then what also gets me is with a lot of these people, you try to get people hype. You get people hype, and then everybody disappear when something is wrong, with the situation that you were out here hyping up. And that's kind of what happened with Al Sharpton. But that's actually one of the events that got Al Sharpton. They said that's when he decided he wanted to be in the forefront of activism. And that Tawana case was the case of which was going to get him where he was trying to go. So it's a very interesting case. And I want to say she ended up being ordered to pay some money back or something. It was a lot with that case. It was a civil lawsuit. I was supposed to do a follow-up, as you see, and I never did. You said that was an AI. You know what? Yes, Tawana lied and Al Sharpton ran with it despite knowing the truth. Yeah, allegedly tried his best. Kyrie said he made him look like a fool. So what y'all think? I put the link if anybody want to come on. If not, this is crazy. This is absolutely. I'm not shocked though. Let me know if any of you are shocked. I'm not shocked, especially when they came with the statement they came yesterday. The statement, let me pull it up because that came up. Let me go on here. And I had the statement. I posted it in my members only. But in this statement, they say the investigation into the Carlee Russell case continues as detectives are working to determine what happened from the time prior to her 911 call Thursday night until she returned home on foot Saturday night. Detectives spoke to Carlee very briefly upon her return home and are waiting for her to be made available to obtain more detailed statement about the sequence of events during that time frame. While we are not in a position to reveal all of the information we have gathered at this point, we can talk about some detail that we have not previously discussed. After leaving the Colonnade, Carlee went to Target on Highway 280 and purchased some snack food type items. These items were not located in the vehicle or with her cell phone and wig at the scene of her disappearance. That's how I knew what they were going to say today. That's when I became positive when I read that. I was like, oh, okay. The Hoover Police Department has not located any evidence of a toddler walking down the interstate, nor did we receive any additional calls about a toddler walking down the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through that area as depicted by the traffic cam surveillance video. Detectives have obtained surveillance video from Carlee's neighborhood, which shows her walking down the sidewalk alone prior to her arrival at her residence. Fire department radio traffic obtained by several media outlets shows that medics were dispatched to her residence on an unresponsive but breathing person. That was the term used in the initial dispatch of the Hoover Fire Department to the residents, and the information about her condition was simply a dispatcher relaying information from what a 911 caller told her emergency communicator. When first responders arrived on scene, they found Miss Russell conscious and speaking, and she was transported on that condition. She was later treated and released from the local hospital. Numerous evidentiary items are still being evaluated, and those items are key in the process of determining exactly what took place in the approximately 49 hours Carlee was missing, but also what took place prior to her disappearance. This release contains all the information, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, this is about to be. I see what's gonna happen here. I see what's happening here. Hey, St. James. How are you? Thank you so much. Thank you. Sharon said, I'm not shocked, but very concerned as to why. I think we all want to know that. Mary said, how do people not realize everything you do can be tracked in today's age? Nothing you can do can be hidden. Yep. Mm-mm-mm. Yep. Marnie said, I did not hear of Carlee until she reemerged. I thought it was suspicious that the police never released a sketch of the kidnapper or issue a warning to the public. Exactly. And that's what I was saying. I was like, usually they're going to tell you a bolo, be on the lookout. Because that's basically saying that's a ploy. That if you see a child on the side of the road, even though you may have an instinct to try to help them, you might not want to do that because somebody might snatch you up, snatch you through the woods, throw you in a tractor trailer, do whatever. She said she wasn't sexually assaulted, it doesn't sound like, but and then I guess what she said, she was blindfolded, but they didn't want to bound her arms because they didn't want to leave marks. It sounds real. The way she's responding kind of sounds thought out because then the police officer can't say if she says she was sexually assaulted. Of course, that's easily proven, right? They can go do rape kit. So she says that didn't happen. Same thing with the tape on her arms. Of course, they would look to see if there's any marks or anything that is on her arms. So it seems like a lot of her stuff, she actually thought it out. Natty said, I'm disappointed. I'm sure you are. No Amber Alert from the child. Nope. Surely she wouldn't have been the only person to see a toddler walking on the highway. That's when I called foul. Correct. Because I think we all would have stopped. We all at least called 911. Hey, thank you so much for your comment. You said she watched too many Lifetime. You know what? Well, then the parents. Okay. Well, another thing, y'all. The boyfriend. Okay. The boyfriend does a statement, and I looked at his page, and he just looked like a clout chaser to me. That's just my opinion. I looked at his page, and what I noticed is, first of all, you put this picture, of course, the pictures kind of count. He didn't have much on his page about his relationship with her, but he put the picture on, the pictures of her coming up missing. But in his stories, the only reposts he did were those of celebrities. So Tina Knowles posted it, and I screenshot it so I could prove it. Tina Knowles did, like, she talked about it. Who else talked about it? Let me pull this up. Because I was watching y'all. I was doing my own CSI investigations. I was like, I need to. So he did a statement. Okay, that made the shade room, right? The boyfriend. And when he did the statement, he said, I don't even know how to start off this post, but to only say thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for saving my girlfriend's life. Also, thank you to everyone who shared a picture, came out to the Hoover Met to help us with the search parties, and who went and proceeded to tell other people about Carlee to bring more awareness to her story. I have been going nonstop since I received the call that she was missing on Thursday night. I know she would have done the same for me. So I wasn't going to give up until I saw her face again. I was straight tunnel vision. Even when I would get on social media on my downtime and see some of the false allegations and assumptions about me having something to do with her abduction would have me discouraged at times, but I didn't give up and kept my faith. And I just said, well, who said that? We didn't even know you, sir. We didn't know she had a boyfriend. We certainly didn't know who you were. So who in the heck was on there, unless it was her family and friends, who would have been on there saying, we think the boyfriend did it? We didn't even know you. We didn't know you existed. Then he said, I just want to thank all my family, friends, former teammates. We like, oh, so you an athlete? Okay. And church members who called or texted me just to let me know that they're praying and here for me. You guys don't know how much that meant to me. All I ask from everyone right now is to be respectful of Carlee's situation. She was literally fighting for her life for 48 hours. So until she's physically and mentally stable again, she's not able to give any updates or whereabouts on her kidnapper at this very moment. I also want to thank the people on social media who have been understanding and respectful about what she's been through in these past few days. And once again, I can't thank you guys enough for helping us bring Carlee home. So this is, let me turn my camera on real quick. I don't know what I look like right now, but so this is this was in the story. So you see, this is in his story. This was on Sunday. Y'all see the date in my phone, and that's from Portia from Real Housewives. Okay, she put that in his story. He reposted the Shade Room when Tamika, this ain't focusing very well. When Lisa Knowles Carter, Lisa, no, I said Carter like it's Beyonce. Tina Lawson co-signs activist Tamika Mallory's message saying Carlee Russell deserves the same efforts to be found as the tourist on the missing submersible. So he reposted that. That was the Shade Room. Then Terrell Owens, he posted it. So he reposted his stuff in his story. Okay, well, it was us old regular smegulars. Well, not me, because I didn't post it, but there were regular people that were on there posting as well. If you're trying to find somebody, you're going to post everybody's stuff. His story should have been going boom, 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 boom. Every time he saw somebody putting up that, to share and to say, I see you. Thank you so much for helping us out. Like he wasn't doing that. And it was just so much. I was just watching how everybody was moving. Funny thing is she magically found her way home and the parents was all calm and stuff. I'd be crying my eyes out and barely able to get on TV, but I still believe God. And my sister-in-law. How would you advise Carlee at this point if you were her lawyer? Just don't even say nothing else, child. Don't get them no most to be like, I don't got nothing else to say. She better say lawyer. That's what she better say. Lawyer. I could put a little light in here. I wasn't planning on coming on camera. Lawyer. That's about it. Oh, thank you. I don't know what to say. If you guys didn't hear the press conference, we just watched it live. So you guys make sure you rewind it back. But that is our update on Carlee Russell. Sounds like the police is not picking up what she is putting down. That's why we didn't get to be on the lookout, because there's nothing to look out for, allegedly. But it's still under investigation, so maybe something to unfold. So I'm surprised the parents did an interview so soon without counsel. That was another thing too. So the mother came. Let me read her statement, y'all. I was Inspector Gadget on this. So the mother said, "Great morning. My husband and I want to make this statement again as we did last night. It's nothing more to add or take away from how we're feeling right now. God is faithful and he has answered our prayers. We are so grateful to each of you for all the acts of kindness, generosity, compassion you have shown. Our baby is safe," with 5 exclamation points. "Thank you, Father God. We do want to ask for privacy." I said, whoa, 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 hold up, stop. That's what turned me off on that. Then you have people, well, they can't ask for privacy. No, because you asked us, and like, let us know something. Like, how you gonna ask the community, and then we want to thank you guys for your time, resources, reposting, praying, being up all night, fasting, turning over the plate, all of that. But right now we just want some privacy. So we want y'all to kick rocks right now and don't ask us no questions because y'all being rude. Even though we brought you into this situation, we feel like we're owed our privacy. And I was like, nah, that ain't how I feel. At this time, they want privacy at this time to allow us to just love on our daughter and each other with our close family and friends. Also, please consider the fact that we have not slept for 3 nights and we are mentally and physically exhausted. To our media friends, I promise we will speak with you and give a general statement in the near future as this is an ongoing investigation. So pause. So that means you have people in the media that probably got this out faster than the mainstream media. But the first thing you want to do is go on a Today Show and go do it. Not the local the local paper that was probably there, like helping you put up flyers. Not your local radio station or your local TV station. None of them. You just said all of a sudden you pop up on the Today Show because it's nationally syndicated. That was an issue for me too. I'm not even gonna lie. So then you say you're gonna let us know in the near future. What? What do you mean the near future? I'm sorry. What does that even mean? But then the police, I figured by then the police probably would let us know what was going on, which is what happened and why we just watched the press conference. For everyone that has messaged or called to rejoice with us, we are so grateful for your concern. Just as we made a commitment to not entertain negative thoughts during the time of our daughter was missing, we surely will not entertain negative thoughts and statements, unvalidated opinions, or sheer ignorance at such a joyous time. We pray that those that doubt God's power, miracles, hey girl,
Or sheer ignorance.
and miracles, let me finish reading this. And the power of faith will be encouraged to draw closer to him and learn the power of positive affirmations and unwavering faith. We love each of you and are eternally indebted for your support and love. Be blessed, the Russell. So that was another thing. What do you have to say, Andrea, child?
I just have one question.
Mm-hmm.
What day did she make it home? Because I'm going somewhere. What day did she make?
July 15th.
She made it home the 15th?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they said she had the ticket and she came up here to Nashville. And you sure it wasn't Sunday she made it home?
It was like I woke up Sunday morning and they said she came the night before.
Okay.
So what was Sunday? Well, Sunday was, it was the 15th then that she returned. Because it was the 15th, it was like 10:45 at night. I went to bed before she was found, and I woke up in the morning to other vloggers saying that she was found. And it happened the night before while I was asleep. So yeah, she was found on July 15th.
Okay, because I was wondering,
She returned.
since apparently she got a bus ticket up here, Beyonce was up here.
Girl, when she had
That's why I was asking what day did she make it back home, because Beyonce was here on the 15th.
Oh.
And so did she go what day okay, so she left on what day? Because I've been trying to figure that out. She left on,
it was 48 hours. So it was that Thursday. She came up missing on July 13th. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was look at you so investigative. It was July 13th is when she came up missing. But this is another thing I need to play for y'all. Have you heard the 911 the 911 tape when she about the Red Roof Inn. Did you hear that? About the Red Roof Inn, girl? Let me see.
754, unclassified complaint, 1466 Montgomery Highway at the Red Roof Inn. The front office, per caller, family members at this location saying they received a call from the female that's missing, Carlee Russell. 754, family members are saying they received a call from the female saying she was at this location. 754 route. 6 of the responding units. I just spoke with the front desk clerk. They said that the family is not being hostile or anything like that, but that there was about 6 carloads of people that have just shown up over there. 5-4 copy. Did the front desk have anybody checked in under that name? Negative, and according to the front desk, the message that the family got did not state which Red Roof Inn. They don't know if it's going to be Vestavia or another location. 760 on Cedar Red Roof. 1904. Show me back in service.
So basically, that is a wait a minute. Let me stop this. That is a 911 call that even before she showed up on Saturday, that Saturday night, the family called the police because allegedly Carlee called the family and said that she was at a Red Roof Inn. That's where the Red Roof Inn came from. So this is a 911 dispatch, which shows when Carlee, somebody from they said relative, I don't know if it was the mom or who it was, but they said allegedly she contacted relatives and said she was at the Red Roof Inn. So of course the family contacted the police to let them know. However, she didn't say which Red Roof Inn that it was, and that was before she showed up.
And then the mom said, but I remember the mom said, because I'm thinking one of two things: either the family when they got there, they got the call, like who did or what did, or the call mixed up or whatever, or the mom is not being truthful. But the mom seems to be, and police seems to believe that she's been, truthful. She's believing what her daughter told her. She said that someone called and gave them a tip and said that she was there. So I don't know if that became she called, by the time 6 carloads of people, it was at, a game of phone, telephone when they got there.
I'm gonna play the 911 tape because the way they just
Right. No, I believe they told them that. I believe they told them that. I believe they told them that when they got there. I believe they told them that when they got there. I'm talking about the 6 carloads of people. Was it a
wait a minute.
Montgomery Highway at the Red Roof Inn. The front office, per caller, family members at this location saying they received a call from the female that's missing, Carlee Russell.
They said family members. That's all I'm saying.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But the mama didn't go. The 6 carloads went. And I'm wondering, because I don't know which one. I'm playing devil's advocate here, right? What she said that someone called saying they saw her there or saying that she was there, and by the time it made it to all 6 carloads, it became she called, or did the mama say she called? You see what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying, and maybe it got lost in translation.
Yeah, all they knew is she was supposed to be there, and they got a call. And by the time 6 carloads of family members got it, it was she called.
But it sounded like to me, like listening to the 911, that they would have said the family said that they got a tip that she.
No, I'm thinking the family said, "Hey, she called and said she was here." But all I'm saying is, I'm wondering is they said that because that's what they got. That's the interpretation that they got in the 6 car. By the time it made, filter through the 6 cars, that when she called, that she said Carlee called, or they're assuming it was her. or did she really tell them that there was Carlee? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because the police seem to think the parents, the way that they spoke, the parents have been truthful based on what they have been told, right? They don't seem to think that the parents, because he shooed that away as soon as somebody asked about it. You think the parents knew or whatever? He says, no, I think the parents have been, I think the parents have been telling the truth based on what they're, what they've been told by their daughter, and they believe their daughter. So,
And I think most parents would. Nobody wants to believe
yeah,
that your child, whether grown or not, would play with the system like that. Have folks out here, but at least she ain't let it linger too long. I guess she came back rather
right.
quickly. If you want to
But
look
my, yeah, but my thing is, you go and tell these people Chucky and the bride of Chucky
she did.
then grabbed you up and slung you into a back of a car, and they fed you your cheeses that you bought. Um, and you stole a robe and some toilet paper, I guess, because maybe you didn't know what they were gonna have, your kind of toilet paper in the back of the truck.
You
I
know what,
mean,
Andrew?
I'm just saying, come on now, girl. I mean, you could have come up better than that, than a man with orange hair. Come on. I mean, if you went through all of this, which makes me go back to one, I believe the major thing here is we have a spoiled girl. We have a girl who's been spoiled her whole life, and something in her life did not go her way, whatever it was. And two, what kind of mental state can that leave a person like that in? Because if a person, I mean, we probably all met, I know I have met people who have been spoiled and gotten their way their whole lives and gotten everything they want. And when hardships and trouble come, they don't deal with them as well as people who've had some knocks and had to get back up or had to earn everything. I mean, I personally have a friend that happened to, and she ended up in prison. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh wow.
She ended up, I mean, because when the hard times came, she didn't know what to do. It wasn't that she did not know, like, okay, do this and do that. This is how you scrape by and live when you don't have all the accoutrements, that you've grown up with. But she didn't, and she did just like her, stole,
Wow.
and
So
she went to
do
went to
we know if
jail.
she got the bus ticket? I know she looked up to get the bus ticket, but maybe that's part of their investigation.
I thought he said, I could be wrong, but I thought he said she purchased it.
Maybe she did. I know that she Googled it for sure.
My thing, Heifer thought she was gonna run away, make everybody miss her, gonna come up here to Nashville and come to this concert, but the block got too hot and she had to hurry up and come back home because she didn't think that anybody would pay her this much of attention. By the time she made it back, it wouldn't have blown up so big, and she would have got to see Beyonce.
Yeah, that may be it. You on to something? But I can't even say I'm shocked though. That's what I'm saying in the beginning. I was like, I was one of those that I just didn't like the way it was proceeding, made me doubt. I wasn't that interested in the reason. Like I said, the whys, the who's, the what. Then the statements just was like I said, the boyfriend seemed like he was halfway clout chasing to me. That was just my opinion. And
That
then and the
mhm.
mom as well, like it was like when she came out with that statement, then you had all these people helping you, people like they have videos of folks, hundreds of
Oh, it
people.
was hundreds of people.
You were asking people to organize. Like on her Facebook page, she was asking for leaders to organize in different areas. People were volunteering to be the leader and orchestrate on a strike.
That's why I think the mom, and I don't think either parent knew. I really don't. I don't think they knew. I don't think they knew until, because he said they showed up yesterday and told them everything that they were going to say today. That's what the chief said, or at some point one of these days. But I believe he said yesterday they went by and spoke to him and told him everything that they were going to tell the public today, so that they were aware first. I don't think until he came and told her, because even after all of this, I wouldn't see someone like that still owning up to it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would think that she would still have her parents, and she was not going to ever be the one to tell them. I believe she may have owned up to it now, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think that she would have been the one to tell them. That's why the police would have, I don't think her parents would have known anything until they came yesterday. So the organizing, I think that was genuine. She was trying to, in her mind, I got to rescue my baby. You know what I'm saying? And now all these actions of their child, they're going to destroy everything that they've had, and then go back to like that inbox that she and the girl, the stripper girl that was supposed to be messing around with the boyfriend. One of the things that stuck with me that she said was, I'm rich and you're poor.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I'm rich and you're poor. And I was like, okay, okay. Did that go as soon as he said the $107 in her sock? I was like, okay, this is a spoiled girl, Mercedes Benz, spoiled girl, um, who is used to in life things going her way, whether earned or not, or whether deserved or not. I believe that. Now, me, I didn't post anything on Facebook or in any social medias. I was listening in a lot of the chats and that were having a lot of the audios and stuff, and people that were having conversations and things. And I could, though this was always in my head, okay, I could not bring myself to even type that. My things were always, I'm still confused. I still don't understand here. But I couldn't bring myself to say she lying, right? I felt it, but I never said she's totally innocent. Somebody took her. I was
mhm.
trying to find that one, two little things. Okay, well, maybe, but I never, I couldn't bring myself to also say she didn't do it because I always felt she did.
But you
But
know
now,
what? With
yeah,
the parents though, Andrea, I can understand them just wanting people to rejoice that she's home. And I think we
absolutely.
are happy that nothing is wrong, because some people look at it like, well, you wanted to be home and now she home, y'all got a problem with that. No, that's not what it is. It's the fact that there are several missing people that we don't hear nothing about,
Right.
that I'm sure that mother 20 years ago that didn't have those resources, who, if they had all of this attention 20 years ago, that maybe they would have found their kid as well, if they would have had all this. There's really, we
Yes.
don't get the attention as Black women. We don't get the attention
That's
like
what I said.
counterparts. So I think that's where the anger lies. And I get it. As a mother,
Right.
she should be happy. I would be happy if I thought my child was missing and I found out she was just on a rendezvous with some dude in Africa or something. At least she alive.
Hmm.
I would be happy as well. But you have to look at the totality of the circumstances,
Yes.
where it was not that situation where it was localized. You made it national. You had us all out here where we were all concerned, and
Hmm.
I think the mother wants us to separate that. Like, it don't matter what the circumstances are, just be happy that she home. And it's like, no,
No, we can
y'all
walk and chew
brought us
gum at the same time. Yeah,
in.
we can walk and
Yeah,
chew gum at the same time. We can be happy she's home, which we all are. But we also can be angry because, for one, Black women are the highest percentage of people, of women who are missing and not found. Number two, we do not get even 25% of the media coverage when we are missing, where we are questioned more, we are thought to have run off more. And for her to do this, because that is why I couldn't bring myself to type it. That is why I wanted to find, girl, please at least be at your mind when you come up. I know that's terrible, but
no, well,
please be at your mind. Please have a mental problem. Please, God, have one. Because if not, they're gonna start snatching us off the corner left and right, because they know they already didn't care almost at all. Now they're not gonna care at all. You know, we're gonna have to create our own news just to get the news out. You know what I'm saying? That is horrible what she has done. No, it's not right. They shouldn't do this. They shouldn't have done it before. But we all know, it's the next time some person becomes missing and it goes viral, whatever. Nobody's gonna pay attention. They're gonna call her every Justice Smollett in the book.
right. And you know what? The fact she gave a statement, though, that was another thing. She seemed so methodical with some of the stuff that she was doing. It was like, why even make a statement? You know that you are straight up not being honest with the police. Just don't make a statement. Say you too traumatized to even give a statement. Like, why would you give
Thank
a
you.
whole statement to the
I
police?
can't remember.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't remember.
business.
I do not recall. Do they not watch these trials with us? I do
Apparently
not
not.
recall. Because they can't, what you tell us, they can't really get you for that because I do not recall is not, I did it and it's not, I didn't do it. It's, I don't recall that. And how can they prove to you what you recall or not? Just be smart enough to not recall it to nobody.
Yeah. That's what I was waiting. I thought the police were, oh, she's too traumatized to talk, period. Okay, that at least leave us where it's something. Okay, maybe not. But you're making it worse. Like your own, because they're gonna check behind you. They'll call it an
Exactly.
investigation, but they
Exactly.
thought it was fishy and they were gonna pull your records. They're full of, like, you really didn't believe they were going to try to verify your story. They was just gonna say, in your mind, you thought you could come up with this story and they weren't gonna verify it at all.
My thing was, that's why I said there must be something still there, like, right, that she's not clearly all pulled together, okay? And there she because anybody in their right mind was not going to use any device that's going to be tied to them to make searches like that, right? Nobody, nobody is going to steal a robe and toilet paper from work and then think that they're not going to be on camera stealing a robe and you know what I'm saying? Go,
Mhm.
it's like she did things that were in the norm at the time. Oh, I'm gonna go pick up this food, and everybody know, no, I'm gonna go. I ordered it. Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up too. But but I'm gonna leave it in the car. But I'm gonna take these snacks because I
And
might
what?
get hungry.
And they fed you Cheetos or Cheez It so you can have your strength, so you can keep
What?
up your strength. Like, what was that all about? I just,
What? Well, my thing was this, sweetheart. You're gonna be on tape. Every store has tape. You bought cheeses. Why tell them they fed you cheeses? Why couldn't you tell them they gave you some donuts or something?
and the
If this is what
Cheez-Its
you
were
want to
still in
do.
the Cheez-Its were gone. So you bought your own snacks and you told your kidnappers, I'm hungry, and they said, here, you can have your Cheez-Its.
Exactly. Now, what you did was, you did like everybody that rides a bus. You bought some snacks because the bus ride is going to be a little bit long,
You know what?
and you're not going to be able to go to the store. But you excited because you got your new wig in your bag that you got somewhere, and you coming up here to see B.
Listen? You know they're gonna be at the bus station and everywhere else. If she caught that bus to go there, and that's where she was at the whole time, while the whole world is in a frenzy trying to find and search for her.
Yes, trust. I bet you the wig she left, that wasn't her favorite wig.
You know,
I'm just saying it wasn't her favorite wig. She got that blonde one, that bronze one that she had on that picture. That's the one she was coming up here to, so she can be fit in with everybody dressing like Beyonce. That's the one she brought up here. Because you can't tell me that ain't what she was doing. Beyonce was here Saturday, and if the city stopped. You hear me?
I believe it. I believe
And she was trying to stop right with them. But when by the time she made it here, she turned on the television and said, "Oh my God, that's me."
look, everybody is they said the wig. It was the wig left behind for me.
Thank you. Oh my God, that's me. That's what she did when she got here, because she had got here and she had her chaps, because it was a million chaps up here. She had her chaps. She probably was gonna have her behind out, like, because apparently that was the thing, the chaps with the behind out to the concert. She had her chaps and her good wig and her new name, and she was gonna ball until she woke up Sunday, and she was gonna go home and tear a shirt. What they say, she had a tore shirt, and she gonna bite her lip real hard because they said she had a busted lip.
Yep, they said she had an injury to her lip. She had a torn shirt.
Yes,
I mean, but
yeah.
that's just like Jesse came with the noose around his neck still there. His shirt was torn. He has a few little scratches and stuff, and his family stood behind him. They're
They
still
still standing behind him.
hope.
My question for her would end up being this, in my opinion. Okay, my question to her would be, why did you involve the police, sweetheart? You involved the police. It was you that did it. You called them. Why do something this stupid and involve the police in it?
But that's what I said about the statement. If you're gonna, you should have came back and just been nonverbal. I'm so traumatized, I just can't even talk. That's what the mother said. She said when she came, she couldn't hold her because her mental, she was so disoriented. You should have stayed disoriented. I can't give you nothing right now.
Baby, I wouldn't have known. I
don't know.
wouldn't have known nothing from the time I turned them blinkers on, and I would tell them, I ain't know I drove six football fields. How long is that? I don't even. I told her. I told her I already had my blinkers on, and the next thing I knew, I was at my mama's house. That would have been all I knew. I wouldn't have known nothing. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. Maybe I can get. Maybe I can get a hypnotist or something. I'm willing to go under hypnosis. Tell me what I need. I would have gave them the best show on earth if I'm gonna be this foolish and do this, right?
I would have gave them the best show. Come on, Andrew.
If I'm saying if I'm gonna be this foolish, right? If I'm gonna be this dumb to pull something like this, you better know I'm gonna put on a show. It's gonna be Academy Award winning caliber. I don't know anything. I'm gonna break down and have all the snot and tears because I'm back to my senses now. What have I done? You know what I'm saying? The tears will be real because I'd be scared to death.
So what do you suggest that she do now? What do you suggest? Just
She
come
need to,
clean.
she needs to come clean to her parents and then don't do like these politicians do their wives when they get caught cheating, have the press conference and had a wife stand up there next to them. Like, see, she done forgave me. Y'all need to forgive me too. She needs to own up to her parents and then tell her parents that she needs to go to a press conference. And she needs to be honest. To be honest, I don't know what I was thinking. My mental state was not as such. I had a lot of things that I am too embarrassed right now to disclose to the public. But there were multiple things going on in my life, and I had never had that much pressure in my life, and I did not know what to do.
She needs you to be her PR. That might work.
She need to pay me real well though.
That
Because
might work.
and then she need to also sign a form that she won't do nothing to me after I whoop her behind, because that's the first thing I would do is skull drag her, and then we could
Because
talk.
now with the boyfriend situation, because again, his post, and it wasn't, I didn't even know, again, even when I went onto his Instagram, and I'm not saying like I don't put a bunch of family stuff on my Instagram, so I'm not saying that that's
Mhm.
something that everyone does, but there was literally no tray. It was just one video, I think on July 2nd, they were in New York or something, or
And he
they were,
went and dug that up.
and it's, you seen a video and it kind of gave a glimpse of her, but other than that, that was it. But he had all these different photos. You was able to slide over and slide over and slide over for the missing, and it just, I don't know, something about that. It just, I thought about, was she trying to get attention from him as well? So I wasn't following all of the different scenarios and all the conspiracy theories out there. So was there something that was going on with the boyfriend?
I had heard at some point, because like you said, there were a whole bunch of them, but I had heard that, let me make sure I get it right, that they had some sort of disagreement or argument or whatever, and either he had broken up with her or they had broken up or whatever, and she was wanting to get his attention. Now, my thought would have been, because as spoiled as she seems, right, she wouldn't have called her sister-in-law. She would have called him and have him hearing her scream. You know what I'm saying? Now come save me.
Well, no, because I think she would want him to be worried. So the best way to get somebody worried is they don't have direct contact with you. But I'm gonna let my
Yeah.
family be the one to reach out. So I could kind of see her not calling him
Mhm.
directly, but
Yeah.
trying to make sure that he seen it, he heard it through a third party. But we're just assuming right now, so y'all don't come for us.
This is true.
We're just making hypotheticals. We don't know
Yes.
if it's true or false, so don't come for us.
Well,
I
and
just
then
I
yeah.
just looked at his page, and that was kind of the first thing I said. I wonder what the relationship is, because she is in her 20s. I did some stupid. I ain't did
Yeah.
nothing dumb, but in my 20s, I did stuff for attention. Let's just be real. You did stuff to try to get attention. I ain't never thought of
Exactly.
this level on no day, but you have to look at that mindset when you're trying to, you know, I'm
I mean,
sick, and you got women out
yeah.
there say they pregnant and they not.
Oh, no,
Like,
see, I ain't gonna
they
do
do
that.
certain things.
I ain't gonna do now that's the one I never did. I never did that. I said, Lord, because I don't need you to teach me a lesson by making my lies the truth. So I never said the pregnant thing, but I have, gone and checked into me a hotel after a fight with my boyfriend, for the night, because it wasn't to get the attention. It was okay then. Let me see. Let me see. I need some quiet. But I'm not gonna tell you where I am, and I'm not gonna answer my phone, and I'm gonna turn everything out. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, or like and that's what I used to do. I used to turn my phone off where you just could
Hmm.
because for me it was the restraint. Like I can't call you, I can't take your text,
Absolutely.
none of that. So you cut your phone off for a couple of days.
Yeah,
See,
that's what I did.
some of y'all being honest in this chat that you might have done some stupid stuff for attention when you were younger. Now I can't even fathom doing anything like that now. But
That's what I
back,
say. In my 20s, in your 20s, you're gonna do some silliness. But I don't. I know for a fact I wouldn't have done this. But again, a spoiled person would not have had the mindset that I have, right? I wouldn't want to put my family and those that I love through the hardship that's now going to come, that's surely going to come, right? I wouldn't want that to come down on them. And somebody like this is never going to think about that. She's thinking about it now, and she may even feel horrible about it now. But when
yeah,
she was doing it, I can see someone like that thinking that this would be a good thing. This would work, right? Because
hmm,
they're not going to think about the consequences for anybody else but themselves. And
yeah,
so because the whole thing is about themselves. They're not going to think about the residual that's going to, go on to other people. So I personally can see her planning this, doing this whole thing out, and the thought never once crossed in her mind. One, the trauma that it would do to her parents. Two, unless she has some issues with them as well, right? Unless they don't told her no too. Unless everybody's telling her no. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? She
Yeah,
wanted
but
something.
I,
Yeah.
I do agree with the comment of because there are potential legal consequences to anything that comes out of her mouth unless they grant me some type of immunity. I don't know if I'll be talking to y'all. Y'all just be mad at me till everything go away because it does sound like I feel like
Mhm.
I'm owed an explanation, but I'm just saying that's just me. But because there are potential legal, because they never said that they weren't going to press charges against her. If you listen to what they said at that press
Right.
conference, they essentially were saying like we're investigating. We haven't got that far yet. We're doing so.
And
Remember,
that's the last thing on our mind. No, that
mhm,
we're not even thinking about that right now. And I'm like, the right now tells me something, because as soon as you step out this room, right now is gonna become now. And we're gonna go and figure out what we need to do. I'm very glad that the parents refused any GoFundMe's to be set up, and I'm very glad. So
mhm,
that again tells me, first of all, the family clearly doesn't, is not in need of anything. They clearly have contacts. They clearly,
that would have
it
made it
wasn't
worse
yeah,
too, though.
it wasn't a clout chase for them, right?
Yeah.
It
I
wasn't
believe the parents. I believe that
me
is
too.
worse. I mean, I think even if your kids go out and they don't call you, and I have the majority of my kids are grown, but even if you don't hear from them, you get concerned. Even if you don't, I
Right.
called you all day, you ain't answer. My son will be like, "Well, dang, can I go to work?" Like there's certain things like that's I can see the mental torment
Right.
as a parent that she would have went through. So I do feel the parents. Now I don't like that statement. I just think she should have just been quiet. But I think once the boyfriend came out with a statement, it almost felt like the family was compelled to come out with something.
Exactly.
That's what
You
I think
know,
happened. But
but
none of
that's the
them
type
should
of
have
yeah,
said
that's the
anything.
type of boyfriend you can see somebody like that with, right? You're gonna
Yeah, that's
you're
true.
gonna gravitate to somebody like that, because that's what I'm gonna get. That surprise. It's mine. Looky. And he's gonna gravitate to somebody that's gonna have a red, Mercedes Benz and that sort of thing. Match made in hell.
Yeah.
Because
And Kay Wood
nobody's
said
there.
it's not mental health, it's mental weakness. And I kind of hear what you're saying.
I
Some
I
people
I I
we
do
do
agree.
blame a lot on mental health. And there are a
I
lot of
do
people that
agree.
are living with it. They function just as
Just
fine when they
fine.
take what they're supposed to take and get the help that they need. So I get what he's saying. There are sometimes we're not emotionally mature. Some
Oh, there
people
we go.
are not emotionally mature, so you
I
don't
think
know
it's,
how to
yeah,
handle certain situations.
you're right. I think the takeaway, in my opinion, the Black community that we need to take away from this, one, um, the Black community is not where we were 30, 40, 50 years ago, right? A lot of us have gone to college and are living lives better than our parents and grandparents and that sort of thing, right?
Hmm.
What we don't need to do is to fall into the trap of, I'm going to smooth the road 100% for my kids because my road was so rough. I'm going to give them all the things that I did not have, and I'm going to, provide all the experiences that I didn't get to experience to this child, and forget the part of them where you're instilling um earning things, um doing things for themselves, self-sufficiency, the importance of how much, letting them know how much that costs you. Okay, I'm
Hmm.
doing this and this is going to cost me. Say no sometimes, even if you have it. That we have gotten I've seen so many so many kids like that in this, what they call it. She's not millennial, what she's Gen X or whatever. I've seen a lot of them like that, where it's the combination of that. That's the generation that would be coming up after, everybody started, banding together and moving up, right? That's what's happening. And we have a lot of them like that. They can't survive on their own, or they can survive, but they still feel entitled to everything, and have not been told no, have not been popped on their hand or popped on their butt enough to understand that you got to earn, you got to work for everything you have, and and you're not going to always win, and you're not going to always be the one to get it, and sometimes you're going to fail, but those failures are going to make you stronger, and you're going to learn more from those failures than you do your successes. If they
Hmm.
don't learn those things, that's the problem.
You're right.
That's the problem. And what they need to do for this girl, because if they don't, they're gonna find her somewhere with some pills or something. It's gonna end bad. They need to be hard on her. They need to tell her, we are not stupid.
Hmm.
We
Well,
are
no,
not
according
dumb.
to Toria, Andrew, not to cut you off, but according to Toria, the parents were on Facebook last night saying they're going to handle this themselves. They believe their daughter that someone kidnapped her, but the police do not believe her. So apparently
I
they
understand that. I understand that. She need to get on her knees, and she need to ask the Lord for the courage to say what she knows she knows, because she knows this just like we do. She needs to, but because now she's not just accepting that her daughter lied, she's accepting that she created someone that would do this for the attention. She's got to accept her role in that, and that's going to be hard. She's not just accepting what her daughter did, she's accepting the mistakes that she made in raising her daughter. And
mm,
that's going to be harder for her than it is to accept what her child did, because I'm not saying that she's, because this girl is grown. She should have had enough sense, you know what I'm saying? So it's not, the blame is not on her, but I can see where she might have to deal with, is this my fault type thing? And that's going to be something that she's not going to want to face, or maybe she cannot face, right? So there's a lot of things going on.
well, let's just
Daddy
not
needs to
make
speak
it
up.
worse.
Daddy
Just
needs to speak up. Daddy needs to speak up. Daddy know.
They
You
need to
know.
just not make this worse. Like coming on Facebook saying I believe her, and I mean that's
Mhm.
why I said about the Jussie Smollett. To this day, they believe they were riding for him. Like that's
And
their
they
family
still are.
for him, and they still are. Right? He's still up on appeal.
Mhm.
We just moved on. They haven't moved on. He's still trying to appeal the
Exactly.
decision that they did to charge him criminally and what he was convicted of. So we see what the outcome could be with Jussie Smollett. And it's just very unfortunate that this generation is different. You're absolutely right. They
Yeah.
don't.
They haven't had the struggles, a lot of the struggles, a lot of them. Some of them have, but a lot of them, like I said, this is the generation that's coming up after we, a lot of our generation have gone to college or gotten better jobs, or, or started businesses and that sort of thing. And our kids didn't, by far, I know mine don't struggle anywhere like I did, growing up in, Cajun land in South Mississippi, nobody struggled. My kids don't have to struggle like that. But and that worries me. I'm a parent. I'm not like her, just sitting back and just giving and giving. I'm concerned about it. I'm
Yeah.
concerned. So I'm forever telling them how much something costs. I'm forever saying no. Well, you don't have the money. No, I got it. Yeah, I got it. It's in my pocket, but you don't have it. You don't have the money. What you gonna do to get this
But you
money?
know what? But you know what, Andrew, and I can say that I'm at fault for some of that as well with my kids. Cause like, okay, my oldest kid, he was there through the struggle. I was doing something totally different. He,
Mhm.
even though he won't say, oh, my childhood was bad, it was a bunch of family and all of that. Then yeah, as I change professions and my finances increase, that means that my younger kids, they've been able to experience where it's not a problem. Like with him, it was like you get McDonald's once a month. Like this is
Mhm.
something that's a treat. I'm cooking at home. Yeah, we getting a big pot of spaghetti. You eating it for 2 days. Like he'll say to this day, I don't like chili. I don't like spaghetti. I don't like chicken and rice. I don't like. He'll tell you all these struggle meals
Mhm.
because that's what it was. So it was totally different. But he's a hustler. He got 2 jobs. He does all of that. So I can see the benefits of that. He has his college degree. But then you look at the younger ones, and it's kind of like, I don't even know how to catch the bus. Can you get, because I had a son that had to walk to school every day, but then I got a kid that ain't
Mhm.
never walked a day in their life, ain't
There you
never had
go.
a bus, ain't never had to, I was like, oh, you on my phone bill. I'm just paying the phone bill. So it's like
Mhm.
sometimes when we have to have that same structure, and we have to raise them
Mhm.
in that same realm for them to have that outcome, like we do, and it may not be, it's unintentional.
It is. It is very unintentional because who wants to, if you because who knows better than you than what your life struggle was, right? You know it from front to back, in and out. So you know how hard that was. You know how that felt. You know that the worry, because it's being having a struggle is not just, oh, okay, you got to work out struggle. No, it's mental, because it's always there. I can't do this, or can I do that, or I don't have the money for this. This is coming up. Do we have it? What we
Mhm.
gonna have to do? It's all, you always worry. You don't ever get a good night's sleep or anything like that. Now, and I never wanted my kids to have that, but I'm having to be disciplinarian because my husband, poor thing, he don't, no, he just can't say it. It's usually it's usually flipped, right?
Mhm.
But I do that, and I mean, I have it out with my mom, my husband, this and the other, because they say I'm being too hard, and I'm not being too hard. They can't get everything they want. They cannot do it. They got to do something. If they can't do this cleaning up, then I don't care if you don't open the front door and leave out for a year. You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
They're next month they'll be 13 and 15, and I'm still telling them, yeah, you live in a neighborhood where you see a lot of people that don't look like you. You see some, it's very mixed, right? You still black when you go to the store. And
Mhm.
I tell them that because I don't want them to go out in the world unprepared, walk into a store because it's still raining, keep their hoodie on, and by the time they get to the back of the store, somebody riding their back to riding them back because they're thinking they're coming in to rob them. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
still I'm still trying to tell them, even though you have all this, not everybody has that. And with all this, you are still who you are. They're going to see you as who they see you as. You need to know that so that you can behave accordingly.
Yeah.
But these kids now, like I said, it's not a purposeful thing. I know it's not. Nobody would purposely raise their kids to be unprepared for everything in life, right? Nobody would purposely do that. But we're seeing that a lot of people did it, and they
Yeah.
don't know what to do because we got all these people out here now that they flailing. They can't leave home. They leave home, they come back. They leave home, they come back. They leave home, they come back. Because they don't know no, you can't go to Beyonce. I don't care. I'm not going to give you the money to go to Beyonce. I'm not going to, I'm not going to give it to you. If you don't have it, you can't go. Well, I'm still going. And they'll just give me the money to, to pay for it later. You know what I'm saying? That's that mindset they have.
Mhm.
But the
Yeah.
lights get turned off. The lights get turned off like, well, I asked you for the money, you wouldn't give it to me, and they turn them off. Not, I didn't go out and get a second job.
Yep, that's this is good. You guys got some great advice in the chat, man. We need to find ways to let them flourish, but not be unprepared, and that's it. And when it comes to these guys, and I used to tell my daughter, they come a dime a dozen. They really do. And I know when you look back, it seemed like it's the end of the world when somebody say they don't. And I used to always say, I don't want nobody that don't want me.
Oh,
That's
thank
it. And you
you.
have to have that mindset. I don't want no. You don't want me. Oh, I don't want nobody that don't want me. So you can
But I
go
bet
your
your mama
way.
told you that.
Go
I
my way.
bet your mama told you that too, right? I bet your
And
mama told you that you was the prize. I bet you, bet you were told you were the prize. I bet you were
Mhm.
told that there are many of them out there. I bet that your mom, like mine did, let me know up front that I don't care how old, I don't care who he is, and I don't care who you are. At this age, he gonna do a whole lot of stuff.
And when I look at
And
my 20s, I had expectations of young people my age that I shouldn't have had, you know?
uh-huh.
And you have to tell them no. And they at 19, 20, they not about to not talk to the girl next door or down the
Thank
street.
you.
You know? I mean, just have reality. And you can date. And when I got to my late 20s, it was like, yeah, I'll date you, but I'm dating him and him too. I was doing the
Thank
same
you.
thing you was doing. And that's all
Thank
you have
you.
to do. Like you have to know that I think we grow, especially if you grow up in the church, you kind of grow up when you're in a relationship, you go get married, you have kids, and then you're not knowing, that you're gonna have, you don't even know yourself. You don't even know what you want. You don't even know what you can
Mm-mm.
compromise, what you can tolerate, what's a deal breaker. You don't know any of that. So that's what you're learning in your 20s. So I hope for her sake that none of this have to do with no guy. Cause
I'm
she's
sure it does.
going to school to be a nurse. I don't know how this is gonna affect your career, honey, because
She
this
fixing to get she finna get this letter stripped.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just over a guy that's gonna move on and be with somebody else. He gonna be posting all over Instagram, and you just gonna be sitting here hitting the air. So
There
I
you
really
go.
don't.
And like I said, that's why you can't. People say, "Why you saying? Oh, they're not old enough." You have age appropriate conversations, but you tell your kids the same thing from the time they come out the womb until they leave your house. You
Mhm.
may not say it in those same words, but you better find a way to say it. It's like you said, it's a dime a dozen. Baby, you the prize. I tell my sons, you the prize. You know, if you want to, if the little girl like you, nah, she like you too much. She like you too much. What you mean? This child is calling her all day, all night. This and
Mhm.
another, and I don't look, and I done got your phone and went in and you respond every fifth text with 2 or 3 words. But she writing her, she pouring a whole. So baby, that's gonna be a problem for you. You don't like her? No, I think even if I don't like her, no, I think she's a sweet little girl. However, do you get are you reading? Are you responding to all of these messages? No. I said, but that means she's sitting up thinking about you all day long, and you got
Mm.
other things on your mind. Are you willing to do all of that? And no, well then she gone now. She gone now
Mhm.
because I want, but again, age appropriate. He is as immature as they come. And the girls are gonna be as immature as they come as well. But you gotta tell them, baby. But when you hit 21, two things gonna happen. You gonna have the time of your life, and you gonna have hell with men because you gonna love them, and they gonna cheat. All of them. You gonna
Mhm.
think yours didn't? He did, and you gonna deal with that. And it's not gonna be in the world. You're gonna go on, and you're gonna live your life. And having the bad boy is not the best thing. It's a whole lot of fun, but just don't fall for him. That sort of thing. I bet you, old dude, like you said, he seems to be in love with himself. He seems to want the world to be in love with him too, and will clout chase off anything. If somebody would clout chase off a girl being so-called kidnapped, then what else would they? The next person that comes along, she might be a broadcaster, and everybody knows her. So I want to link myself to her and leave you in the dust.
Mhm. No, I get what you're saying, Shani D. What we're talking about is in your 20s or when you're younger. There's just I mean, when I look back at the expectations that I had of
Mhm.
young people that were my age, it wasn't even realistic. I'm not saying I know there are some good men that are out there. That's definitely not what I'm saying. I'm married myself. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
and me too. I'm married myself.
Yeah, I'm just and in my 20s, I feel like some of the days where I ain't sleep and I was crying and I was thinking about smashing ties and everything else over stuff. It was like, girl, like you really, that's why I tell people all the time, I was one prayer away from being an American gangster. Okay. Some of the stuff that I did, it's by the grace of God that I am defending people as opposed to being a defendant. So that's why I love what the heck I do. And I thank God and know it's by his grace and mercy. And I believe in grace and mercy because of it. I know we do stupid stuff. Now, I can't say I've ever done it to this level of what she's not. I just think everybody should just be quiet. She may potentially be facing legal charges and she just need to hush. But we are very disappointed, I think, collectively. We all are disappointed. This has been a great talk. Thank you so much, Andrew, for coming on. Thank you for everybody in the chat. I'm sorry. Oh, she done dropped off. Okay. Thank you, Andrew, so much for coming on again. Thank you for all of the good information, advice in the chat. If you guys have kids, teenagers, some of these OGs in the chat, or some of us that have kids that are adults and we've been through it, we went through it so you don't have to. Take some of this advice with you when it comes to the kids because it's hard. Child are hard. And to me, it gets harder when they get older, raising kids. But you guys make sure that you hit the like on your way out, subscribe. This has been a great conversation. I hope that we can continue it soon. As this story continues to unfold, we will be following it. And let me see. Yes, please make sure y'all hit that like button on your way out. All right, we are going to talk soon. I didn't even get a chance to do my intro. I just jumped right in. So the beginning of this video is a little ghetto where I don't introduce myself. I don't have my intro. I don't have anything. We just jumped right into the press conference. So if you go to the beginning of the video, that's what you'll see is all the information we learned today on the Carlee Russell case. But until next time, I love each and every one of you. Make sure that you be safe and please don't make this deter you from helping others, helping your neighbor, loving others, and helping people that are missing and trying to use your resources, your time, your efforts to help those that are missing because we still need to help each other as a collective. You guys have a good day and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Yeah. So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit accomplice or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge, they don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like, wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because their agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifting. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.